Hello and welcome to the penultimate round of the Invictus Racing League, the first season of Invictus Racing, live from Interlagos circuit in Brazil, and we have a heavy rain qualifying session to kick things off for this 9th round. At this round, the championship in both drivers' and constructors' forms could be decided to crown the first champions of the Invictus Racing League. UK Tranquility leads the drivers' championship at the moment. Apologies a second. As I was saying, UK Tranquility leads the championship by 7 points over Craig. And he will need to finish. He will need to outscore Craig by 4 points to guarantee himself the title. He said himself before the race that he isn't so sure that he can do that out here tonight, but anything can happen, especially with these tricky conditions for qualifying. In terms of Constructors' Championship, or Teams' Championship, Tranquility and Malk are 20 points ahead of Narayan and Kieran, so Narayan and Kieran are going to have to outscore Tranquility and Malk by one or 2 points in order to keep their hopes alive for the Team's Championship, but it's not looking too likely at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. Out they are then for their first laps. The weather won't change, this is going to be wet qualifying for the entire session, but I imagine the track will evolve a little bit and we will see some faster times towards the end of the session. Here's Mike coming through turn 3 down the back straight. Full wet tyres. We'll wonder whether some of these drivers will go for a higher downforce setup to get that better wet weather grip for qualifying, but sacrifice some speed in the dry race, or whether they're just going to go suffer through qualifying on a dry setup and aim for race pace. I would think that will be what most drivers will do, but once again, you never know. So Mike will set the first benchmark. He's the first car out there in the Ferrari. Allow me to just change the volume. There we are. He's got a Toro Rosso following him. That's Toro Rosso of RDH. RDH currently third in the championship, 15 points behind the leader. So he does have the opportunity to take the title here, but it's going to take something pretty special for him to do that. And of course there is Abu Dhabi next time out as well. So let's take a look at the timings. RDH opens the scoring with a 124.8 here at the Interlagos circuit. Let's find UK Tranquility. UK Tranquility in the McLaren goes with a 124 flat. To go provisional pole by 0.8 of a second. A slightly depleted grid this time out, which is unfortunate to see, but I'm sure we will still get some cracking racing nonetheless. This is a short circuit, so a smaller grid doesn't matter too much. And of course the strategy options with this wet qualifying session. RDH down to second with Sam Bankid in the Renault, a late joiner. Has had mixed results, took a second place on his debut, and then has had DNF since then, so let's see how he gets on. But Nitrogash in the Red Bull. He's currently 7th in the championship. Didn't start the race last time out, but has had a pretty solid run of form so far this season, only finishing outside the points once, so that's pretty good going. He's currently on a lap. Yes. So obviously in these wet conditions, drivers don't have to worry about tyre wear and the tyres that they're starting on, so they can do multiple laps on a set of tyres, put more fuel in the car, just keep going around as the track gets faster and improve their time. So Nitrogash comes through and does a 1:24.8, and that puts him third. A couple of tenths behind RDH, who's done a 1:24.6 to go second. Where are the championship contenders? So UK Tranquility on pole at the moment. Craig yet to set a time. And RDH in second. So there's your top three in the championship. Sam Bamkid in fifth currently. Is Deo in the Williams car on his outlap. So Spud in the Mercedes had a pretty strong showing at Russia in round 7. And at USA in fact, just before that too. So in the Mercedes he's certainly got the car. Can he maximise the potential of the car to get a good result here today? It's a 20.6 in the first sector, not the best, but can always improve. Just over 11 minutes left in the session for the drivers to put in a time. Interesting to see that Craig still isn't even out on track at the moment. Neither is Miles 22 in the other Red Bull. Let's ride on board. A lot of understeer in these tricky wet conditions. Oh, runs a little bit wide with a long left-hander. Extends a touch into Young Shao. Oh, runs wide there as well. Up the hill. Tough to get traction in these conditions up that hill. Drivers have got to be careful on the throttle. He may have invalidated his time when he extended at turn 13 there. It's a 25.1, so it is a legitimate lap time. That puts him 6th and last of the cars that have set a time. Here's Deo. It's a 21.5 first sector, not the best. Ooh, a little bit squirrely on the exit. Being a little bit cautious here, not wanting to lose the car under full wet weather conditions. Oh, and micro tyres. I'm not sure whether he's crashed or if he's retired out of being happy with his lap there. It's a 24.8, so I don't think he will have been too happy with that lap. So looks like perhaps Mike has lost the car somewhere and hit a wall, which is unfortunate to see. Here comes. Oh, Deo has to lift out the throttle as he understeers. Yep, there's Mike. He's done a Kimi Raikkonen and has hit the outside wall on his flying lap. It's a 26.1 for Deo, and he goes 7th and slowest of the cars with a time. Here's Craig then in the Force India. The man in 2nd place in the championship. Seeing if he can become the inaugural Invictus Racing League Performance Champion. He's had a great season, had a win at USA in great fashion, but hasn't in fact scored a podium other than that race, which is quite an interesting stat actually. So he's managing to stay in this championship fight with, I think, have just the one win and thus podium. So a mammoth effort from Craig to be in this championship fight. It'll be interesting to see what he does in this qualifying session. He's really going to want to out-qualify UK Tranquility to try and either close that gap down or win the championship potentially at this race. believe he can win the championship. Yeah, so he scores... no, sorry, no he can't. But he can certainly close the championship down. Tranquility is the only one who can win the championship at this round. Craig losing the rear end coming up the hill. Like I said, you've got to have a lot of throttle control to hold on to it. So in the Force India, a car's very fast in a straight line, not great on downforce, might struggle in these wet conditions, and yeah, runs a little wide, takes a later apex, gets a decent run through turn 2, runs off the circuit at 3. That may have invalidated his time. Depends how much time he lost. Into turn 4. So 2.7 in the first sector. It's not ideal, but of course you will get more than one go at this. It's over 7 minutes remaining in the session. So enough time for 3 or 4 more laps for each driver. Yep. This right-hander takes the apex well. This middle sector's been a lot stronger than his first. Hugs that inside line nicely. Takes just the right amount of curb. It's a 44.5 in the middle sector. Still a little bit off UK Tranquility's best middle sector, so this lap might struggle to give Craig a lap to challenge Tranquility. It's going to be a 24, 25, 24.7, so he goes 5th. I imagine he'll try again. Oh, he's pretty late for turn 1 again, but takes a slightly tighter line. Gets a better run through 2, doesn't run onto that curb at turn 3, which is much better. Controlling the throttle through turn 3. Now out onto the back straight. There would be DRS were this dry, but in these wet conditions, no such thing. 20.2 in the first sector. That's about a 3/10 off Tranquility's best. The McLaren is a stronger car through the corners though, and Tranquility may be running a wet weather setup, which could hinder him in the race, especially since with that massive, with those 2 big straights with DRS on, that could really hurt him. If Craig is running a more race-ready, low downforce dry setup, this might be why he's struggling a little bit in these wet weather conditions. Through the middle sector again, he seems to be smooth and consistent, but not too fast through this middle sector. But in the race, that is probably what you want. There's a Red Bull on the outside of the circuit. Gets out of the way nicely. A 44.4 in the middle sector, a 10th faster than his previous best. Will this lap get him into the 23s? The 5-minute timer ticks over. He gets a much better run through sector 3 this time. Keeps his foot in it with the bravery. It's a 24.2 and he goes 2nd fastest. 1.1 seconds off of Tranquility. Tranquility's lap must have been mega. Didn't actually see that, but a 23.1 compared to his closest championship rival on a 24.3 is something else. But that, again, that might be a dry weather setup. Will his challengers be able to take advantage of the... Oh, as Deo gets all out of shape, hits the 150 metre board. Oof. Rejoins the track a little bit recklessly there. He seems to have blocked Craig. Not really sure what's going on there. He's paused. Is he going to retire? Here is RDH, currently 4th in the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso looking great in these conditions with that helmet design as well. So 44.3 in the middle sector. He's going to get a nice little toe off the Renault of Sam Bamkin as well. So this could be a pretty strong final sector from RDH. He got a decent exit as well. What can he do? Sam Bamkin pulls into the pits. It's a 23.9 and he goes 2nd. So 3/10 faster than Craig. Thank you, Jeff. And so Craig bumped down to 3rd, not seemingly having an answer for his championship contender in this qualifying session. Here he is, seems to have run out of fuel. He's cruising back to the pits, maybe to have one last go in the final few minutes. Deo with a very nice line from turn 1. How's he going to do to... Oh, cuts it, that could have been validated. Sorry, button. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. What can he do? It's a 20 flat in the first sector, but that might be because he ran off track a little bit. We'll have to see if his lap counts when he crosses the line. Manages to hold on to the car a bit better this time. Takes a lot of inside curb. Dangerous game in the wet, that is. Taking a lot of curb, which is for these wet conditions. Backs out. There he is. Fairly solid, not using all the circuit available to him at the moment. But again, that can be quite tricky in the wet weather conditions. Runs a little bit wide again through the long left-hander. Certainly a weak area for him. It's a 44.8 in the middle sector, so his time is sort of balanced out to be pretty on par. We'll have to see what he can do. Nitrogas retires from the session. He's clearly happy with his 6th place at the moment. Doesn't think he can improve. Oh no, I lied. He's crashed on the run out of turn 3, out the final corner, sorry, in sector 3, so not good for him. Here's Sam Bankid. He's on his out lap. This will be his last attempt at a flying lap. He's got Tranquility ahead of him, who is on a fly, not sure Tranquility's on a flying lap at the moment. He backs out. He lets Sam Bankid through and backs out. There's just over a minute left. Else is on track. Sir Spurred currently second with a 1:23.8, but still 7/10 off the leader. Tranquility with a mega middle sector in that McLaren. Here's Craig. He's on his out lap. Let's follow. Sam Bankid comes onto his flying lap. Currently in 6th. He wants to improve this. Decent run from turn 1 and through turn 2. Gets the car rotated nicely. Got to be brave to hold the power around turn 3. Oh, gets a little bit of a slide. Shifts up to counteract it. It's a 20.2 in the middle sector. Oh, but he's understeered a little bit at turn 4. Onto the curb. Again playing dangerously. Keeps his foot in it going up the hill. Into this tricky right. Takes a lot of inside curb, lets the car run out, and then it cuts back. Catches a little bit of a slide. We're going to go into spectator cams in a minute. Round he comes, gets the car nicely rotated. We're not going to see what his middle sector split time is like, unfortunately. But this has been a pretty solid lap from Sam Bankid so far. Here we are. Again, a very nice line through there. This has been a pretty nice lap, but the Renault might be holding him back a little bit. It's not the best car. Through turn 3. Hugs the inside, makes the shortest run to the line. It's P4 for Sam Bankid. Just 8/10, but now it's become 1.2. His Duque Tranquility has gone even faster, I think, somehow. Here's Craig, 1.5 seconds off the leader currently. Oh, he runs a little wide. Sort of. Lap can the Force India driver, the 2nd place man in the championship, muster to contend with his rival up the hill? Oh, gets a little bit of a slide on. He just holds it, but it will hurt his run. Excuse me. Through sector 3, and it's P4. So, my word, there you have it. UK Tranquility in the McLaren Honda, and his first opportunity to win the Drivers' Championship for the inaugural Invictus League performance season, is on par with a 1 minute 22.7, a full 1.1 seconds ahead of the Mercedes driver Sir Spud there. RDH, the third place man in the championship, is 3rd on the grid. Craig can only manage 4th place. It's Sam Bankid in 5th, Deo in 6th, Nitrogash in 7th, Mike in 8th, crashing out of qualifying early, and Miles in 9th position for this round 9 scrap at the Interlagos circuit. in Brazil. The weather report did say a dry race, but anything can happen, especially in overcast conditions. Some rain can sometimes occur. But here we are, it's dry on the grid with a little bit of sunshine. It's going to be sunshine and clouds throughout the race, so we should be on for a dry race. The game, starting on the soft tyre, advises a two-stop. I think a lot of drivers will be going for the medium tyre to hard tyre one-stop. I believe it is possible at this circuit with some management, possibly a safety car to help along. But any driver starting on the soft will be fighting for that aggressive two-stop strategy. A two-stop here, I would imagine, would actually in fact be a soft, hard, soft combination in whatever order. So as you can see there, Miles, Mike, quite a few drivers actually starting on the harder tyre will be going for that one-stop. So let's just leave and rejoin the session so that we can spectate this Brazilian Grand Prix. So here we are on the formation lap. UK Tranquility opting for the medium tyre to start the race on. Sir Spud also on the medium, as is RDH. Craig also on the medium. Sam Bankid on the hard tyre. Deo has gone for the soft. I believe he pushed the start button early, so hasn't changed the game strategy. That's going to be an interesting one. He's going to need a lot of pace to make that work. It's Nitrogash in 7th on the hard tyre, I believe. Yep. Mike, Miles, they've just disappeared. Not quite sure what's gone on there. Let's wait for the start then. We'll go with Craig. So it's building up to 5 red lights for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Looks like UK Tranquility has gotten a good start there. He's going to have Sir Spud challenging him into turn 1. Spud seems to has the inside line for turn 1, becomes the outside for turn 2, retains second position. Craig is going to be right on the back of RDH to try and take a podium position. Reminder that UK Tranquility needs to outscore Craig by 4 points in order to win the title here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's side by side, the Force India driver passing the Toro Rosso driver. Oh, one wheel on the grass. It's going to be around the outside for turn 5. He's run wide. Oh, it's disaster for Craig. Falls to 8th position, and right now this is perfect for UK Tranquility. He's going to fall to 9th here behind the Ferrari of Mike. And Craig's championship takes a big hit. Oh, he throws one at the inside of Mike, trying to defend that 8th place, trying to take that 8th place back rather. But that's not the start that he was after. UK Tranquility in the McLaren, seemingly driving a little bit too fast for his car allocation here. He's looking to win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. Here they are then. Tranquility leads from Sir Spud, from RDH, from Deo in 4th, Sam Bankid in 5th, Miles in 6th, Nitrogash 7th, Craig in 8th, and Mike 9th is your full running order for this race. UK Tranquility, got to keep a cool head. He might be leading, but there are 34 laps still to go in this race. He's got to keep a cool head. He's got to hope that no safety car or weather changes or incidents himself affect his title bid at this race. RDH in third. It's got a little bit of pressure from Deo behind. Deo is on the faster tyre and will be doing a two-stop for definite, so the Williams driver is really going to want to be passing the Toro Rosso fairly soon to try and get the most out of those softer compound tyres. Looking back, riding on board, it's a 1:13.3 from UK Tranquility, the fastest man on track at the moment. Ride on board, looking forwards. Oh, he runs a little wide, gets a back out the throttle. He's going to have DRS, it's lap 3 already. He'll be gaining on RDH. Won't be a little bit too far away to make a move yet. Running, I believe Deo runs auto gear, so I think that may be holding him back just a touch if the game doesn't change down as quickly as a real person would, and so he doesn't get that engine brake. As you can see, running third gear through those slow right-handers, really holding him back, causing him to understeer quite a lot, and allowing RDH to just pull out a gap a little bit through the middle sector. He's been very aggressive with his turning though, braking late, throwing the car in, going full lock into most of the corners. That is going to scrub his front tyres out quite a lot. It's going to give him a lot of tyre wear, an already pretty high tyre wear circuit for the soft tyre. Gains a lot in the braking zone, so he is braking on the limit, but it's mid-corner speed where he's losing out. Again, running a little bit wide through turn 3. Not going to give him the run onto the back straight, or the distance to make a move on the Toro Rosso, although the Williams does have very good straight line speed, takes a lot of curb on the inside. Through that double right. Actually, as you can see, Sir Spud running, dropping off from the leader, UK Tranquility, just a little bit. Maybe falling into the clutches of Toro Rosso, of the Toro Rosso driver RDH, and indeed Deo, if he can find the speed to pass. Craig now up to 7th place. I can't ride with I can ride with Nitrogash, but oh, I can't. Oh, there we go. No, yeah, Mike. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Sorry, as the cars disappeared on the formation lap, I wasn't quite sure who I could and couldn't ride with. So, on board with UK Tranquility, he is in a world of his own at the moment. No one challenging him. Here's Sir Spud, RDH, and Deo in a bit of a battle of attrition at the moment. Of course, Deo will have to pit earlier, I imagine around lap 8, 9, 10. I imagine will be his pit window for the soft tyre. He will have to pit, and of course he'll get the undercut on those fresh medium tyres, so he might be able to jump these two and start to make up the time that he needs to cushion his two-stop strategy. Quite seems to have the pace at the moment. Here's Sam Bamkid on the hard tyre doing a stellar job in 5th place. One of the few hard tyre runners. Nitrogash also a hard tyre runner in 6th. Craig in 7th on the mediums, recovering from that first lap, from those first lap calamities. Could be a difficult campaign for him in this race, but we'll have to see how it goes for him. Up to 6th now. I looked away to check the positioning, and Deo, yes, so Deo has pit, my word, extremely early. At the end of lap 5, as Deo's come in for a set of hard tyres, so Is he doing a double hard stint? Because if he's got such poor tyre, he's going to struggle to do a two-stop with mediums at the end of the race. This aggressive early turn-in, understeer the car into the corner strategy doesn't look like it's working too well for him at the moment. Let's see how he catches Miles for 8th place. Oh, Miles falls off the circuit, so that's giving Dale a helping hand, as it is. Let's see, here's Prix not making any progress to the cars ahead. Here's Sam Bankip with Nitrogash all over his gearbox in the DRS zone, but oh, the Red Bull with no straight line speed. I mean, neither does the Renault, I suppose, but maxing out at 208 miles an hour with nothing more to give. DRS open. Wouldn't do any more than 208. Here he goes again. Again, it seems even the Renault, even against the Renault, the Red Bull seems to run out of straight line speed. That right-hander looked like he may have been sizing up a look into the turn 6 or 7 complex. Can he do? Will he be close enough? He'll have DRS on this main straight. They're both on the hard tyre, so no tyre advantage. It's going to all be about driver skill here and the straight line speed ability of these cars, but they are running the same engine. It's going to be all about slipstream and setup and the drivers. It looks like Sam Bankip may be running a slightly lower wing setup because it's not allowing Nitrogash to catch up even in the slipstream with DRS. Look, I'm pretty much staying the same, so, and it does appear that Nitrogash has a little bit of an advantage in the corners, so possibly running 1 or 2 clicks lower wing on that Renault is Sam Bankip, because right now Nitrogash in the Red Bull can't make any ground up on the straights. And as you can see, Sam Bam sliding and squirming around on the exit of the corner. Look, there he is again, catching the car. So I think a slightly more straight line speed oriented setup is on that Renault car. Very late on the brakes is Nitrogash. He's going to be closer than he has been so far. Oh, but he's revving the engine up quite a lot there, and it's hurting his pace actually onto the straight because he's revving the engine out of its power band. Ooh, bounces across the circuit. Oh, and Miles has gone. Miles has left, so disconnection, or he's just up and left. This could affect these battles because there might not be any slipstream now. And that's really going to hurt Nitrogash and his high wing setup. Or his alleged high wing setup. Still not making any progress. Let's look further down. Here's Craig. Craig now starting to make up a little bit of ground on his medium tyres as Nitrogash is stuck behind the Renault. The Force India is a faster car in a straight line, so one might think that he will be able to pass these two and get up into 4th position on the front straight. Where's Deo? Deo on his hard tyre, having made his pit stop in 8th position. Not really breaking any records there. Back on board with the 2nd place man in the championship. Were it to finish like this, UK Tranquility would be the champion, I believe. And Craig pits, lap 9. He's got to be careful not to break the speed limit. So Craig pits from 6th position on lap 9. Clearly with pretty high tyre wear on that Force India. I'm quite surprised by that actually. I would have thought the car would have gone longer, but onto the hard tyre he goes. So I think he'll be doing a 2-stop too, because I can't see those hards now doing 26 laps if the mediums only did 10. He's come out behind Deo. There's Deo just going to turn 3 now. So out comes the Force India. Ooh, tags the wall. Has he gotten himself any damage there? I certainly hope not. The UK Tranquility. He's already lapped the ghost car. Up the hill he comes, so in the McLaren. Slightly better tyre on the McLaren possibly. And he has been leading, so no dirty air to contend with. Will he be coming in? No. So I think UK Tranquility will definitely be aiming for that one-stop strategy onto the hard tyre. I imagine somewhere around lap 13, 14, 15. I think, and then to do 20 laps of the hards wouldn't be too big an ask. He is coming around behind the ghost car, yeah, the ghost of Miles. His first spud, 7 seconds behind the leader, again, in his own race. Here's Sam Bankid in third, with Nitric Ash in fourth. RDH then has pitted as well. Nitric Ash still unable to pass the Renault driver. He is stuck behind him. It would seem that Nitric Ash has the better pace. Oh, got a little bit too much on the curb. Potentially could have had a look there, but a little bit too much on the curb to make anything of it. It would appear that Nitric Ash is the faster of the two drivers at the moment. Doesn't quite have what it takes to get past at the moment. This could be a pit stop based battle when these two hard tyre runners eventually come in for their medium or soft tyres, depending on the strategy they have opted for. Here we are then, he's close again, but Sam Bankid, as you can see, pulled away when DRS wasn't yet open, and there's no real gain coming from the DRS. They're now up to second and third, so that's UK Tranquility in the pits, changes onto the hard tyre. So again, could be a bit of a stretch for those hards to do a one-stop. A lot of these drivers could be switching to twos. Here's RDH. I think he's going to come up safely behind the race leader. Yeah, he is, but let's see where he is compared to all the other drivers. Here's Deo. So the gap between those two has stayed pretty much the same. RDH has pulled out a little bit, maybe. So Deo's decision, as you can see, Deo's been told to pit. I mean, 8 laps on the hards is not good enough, really, from a tyre wear point of view. He's going to be doing a lot of pit stops if this is his pit window. If he does come in, I'll be very surprised, because he really is ruining his own race by doing that. Here's Craig, visibly closer to the cars in front now. 25 seconds behind his championship contender, though. I don't know, not 25, roughly 20 or so seconds. Here we go. So Sir Spud pits, and that will promote Sam Bankid into the lead off the race. He's got DRS off the ghost car, I think. So this has become a battle for the lead here between the Renault and the Red Bull. Renault slides somewhat through turn 4. Really do think that he's running a lower wing setup. Nitric Ash not quite got the smooth style through this middle sector to capitalise on his Red Bull's better cornering speed. As if he took one stab at each corner. Look, as you see, he's tap steering there, turning the wheel a lot to get into the corners. It's causing him to lose speed as he scrubs it off by changing his steering angle, and he's losing corner speed, and that's losing his advantage over Sam Bankid's lower downforce Renault. Gap at 4/10 at the moment, so it's not impossible to overcome that distance with DRS, but in these circumstances it looks it, so he may be waiting for a mistake from Sam Bankid, which could come because Sam Bankid looking a little bit squirrely through some of the corners. There we go, he's starting to gain. The closer he gets, it's down to 1/10, so he gained 3/10 in that first sector. Again, look, he's taking wide lines, a little bit inconsistent with where he is on the circuit. As he taps and has to change his steering angle all the time, it's costing him time through the corners. running wide, causing him to run wide as he steers out of a lot of corners. Look at it, yep, like that. As he brakes really early, puts the power back on, turns in about 3 times, making it really difficult for him to carry corner speed, and that's where his biggest advantage is. Here we go then, he's going to be close, he runs onto the curb a little bit, look, and he runs wide, he's tapping the steering, he runs wide, coming up the hill, and it's drops half of his car out the slipstream, and look, he runs wide again, not staying nailed to the back of that Renault. Here he is. Oh, he's much closer this time. Can he get the run? Pulls out of the slipstream again. He needs to get back in the slipstream. Not sure what's... He's closer than ever coming through here, but brakes earlier than Sam Bamkid. Gets an okay run through there. Oh, runs wide. Changes down into first gear and drops off a load of time to Sam Bamkid again. Consistency not quite there for the Red Bull driver at the moment. We've got Mike, the other hard tyre driver, who's been caught by UK Tranquility, so Mike's about to go a pit stop down on the race, on the next race leader. The next race leader just 4 seconds off of the current race leader, so it's now over 4.5, so it seems like Tranquility, if he could keep it clean, has got this in the bag, because, I mean, not to commentators curse him or anything, but he is looking unstoppable at the moment. So it's going to be a Ferrari versus a McLaren in a straight line, which is not a particularly pleasant experience for anyone. And the hard tyre runners in the lead pit, so that promotes Mike into the lead, and UK Tranquility now into second, battling for his lead of the race. And the fact that those cars starting on the hards are only going 15 or 16 laps begs the question of the one stop. Perhaps that is not the strategy to be running after all. That in fact these drivers are really struggling on tyre wear. Or maybe not, maybe they are just going with what the game tells them. And they're having to come in early, so anyone trying the one stop, maybe no one's trying the one stop, maybe I've interpreted this all wrong. Oh, UK Tranquility really being held up by Mike here, it would seem. The straight line speed and acceleration of the Ferrari is helping Mike a lot, but Mike's run wide there, and it's gonna allow Tranquility up the inside. This is an extremely brave move from the championship leader. Mike lets him go. I suppose there's no point fighting it. Is Mike going to come into the pits? Mike doesn't pit, so that wasn't... Tranquility's got a pit request. This is bizarre. He only pitted 5 laps ago, and apparently the game wants him to pit off of those hard tyres again. Cannot see him doing that. We're just under half distance through this race. And UK Tranquility, the championship leader, is in prime position to take the first driver's title. His championship rival Craig down in 8th. He's had a bit of a Lewis Hamilton situation here. Lewis Hamilton 2007, issues on the first lap. He could never really recover against his championship rivals to take the title. Back in 2007, now here we are in 2017. Runs wide to Craig, and that reminds me, let's check the penalties for now. So UK Tranquility with just the 1 warning. Mike also with 1 warning. We've got Sir Spud there with 1 warning. Deo with a penalty and a warning. Sam Bamkid, a totally clean race so far. RDH has a penalty and a warning. A penalty and 2 warnings for Nitrogash, and nothing for Craig. Craig's just dealing with the lapped car of Miles, or the lapped ghost car of Miles. They've got running aboard with the ghost. Tranquility. So your race order at the moment is Tranquility from Sir Spud, a 10.6 second gap between those. And Deo has got himself up into third position at the moment. It looks like that he may have to stop again, but so does everyone else by the looks of things. So Deo's strategy might work out for him yet. He's 12.4 away from the leader. Well, that puts him just 1.8 or so behind Sir Spud. So Deo could be making a challenge for second place here soon. Got Sam Bab on the faster tyre though, so he too is going to be challenging Deo with RDH on the hard tyre. Third placeman in the championship, needing to outscore the two ahead of him by quite a significant margin to keep his championship contention up, but it doesn't look likely at the moment as he runs in 5th place. Nitrogash in 6th on that faster medium tyre. Mike also on the medium tyre. And there's Craig in 8th position. That's right back with Sam Bankid in 3rd. Has Deo pitted? I believe he has. No, it's Mike. So Deo's pitted again. Is that for a set of hards? It is. He's gone on to another set of hards. He did 14 laps on that last set, so he might just get this set to the end if he drives a little bit more conservatively. But he is going to be on the slower tyre compared to everyone else, again. So, an interesting strategy call from Deo at the moment. We'll see if it pays off for him. Tranquility with the pit request on his steering wheel screen as well. So the game clearly not having much faith in the tyre saving capabilities of the drivers. Sir Spud with the same pit request. Sam Bankid, it would potentially be that all of them have pit requests. Whether that's a glitch or real, we're not sure. Sam Bankid in 3rd. Yeah, his qualifying wasn't too bad, but it looks like that based on his straight line speed, he had a more race dry weather ready setup fitted to his car, so it might have been why he wasn't so strong in qualifying. RDH in 4th. Again, he had a solid qualifying, fairly solid qualifying. Oh, and Nitrogash retires from the session. Not sure what has happened there. Is this going to bring out a safety car? It will cause havoc if so. With 16 laps remaining, what tyres will the drivers go on to? Will it bring out a safety car? Doesn't look like it at the moment. It's a virtual safety car. So let's see where the top guys are. Tranquility is coming up towards the pit entry. Will he go for that free pit stop onto a fresh set of tyres, or will he just stick it out for now? He does. He goes for the pit stop. So with the negated advantage of the cars that stay out, Tranquility opts to pit. Sir Spud coming round does the same. The later these guys come in, the less of an advantage they will have. Sam Bankid opts to stay out. Will he assume the lead? So, Tranquility looking to do 15 laps on those medium tyres. He stopped at pit. Ah, no, there we go. There's some desync there. So Tranquility is 10 seconds away from the leader. Wondered what happened there. No, he has pit lane desync, so Tranquility dropping a lot of time in the pits, possibly a front wing change that we didn't see. This game often doesn't go through the front wing animation. It's 9.9 seconds to gap to Sam Bankid in the lead. Sam Bankid will have to pit, I believe. I don't think he's going to be able to do this long. I mean, you won't be able to do 21 laps on a set of medium tyres, which is what you would potentially be aiming to do. You may be looking to go a little bit longer, maybe take these laps take these tyres 5 or 6 laps longer, and aim for a 2-stop onto the soft at the end of the race. But let's see how it goes for him. Tranquility already got the gap down to 9.1, so the fresh mediums for him really working well. Sir Spud in 3rd. Craig has made his way up to 4th, but he's got 15 laps to go. Not everyone around him needs to pit. RDH has fallen behind him. Craig has made a pretty good recovery so far. We've got, obviously, there's a little bit of out of sync with the pit lane, with the pit stop with the pit stop sequences, sorry. RDH has actually got some pressure from Deo. Finally, Deo is finding pace and is putting pressure onto RDH. He seems to have been passed by Craig, but he's actually a little bit quicker than the Force India driver. RDH there's just getting a little bit stuck behind Craig. There's 14 laps to go, so I think anyone making pit stops for medium tyres will be doing it fairly soon here. While people making, there we are, UK Tranquility sets the fastest lap of the race. Let's ride with RDH as he tries to make an attempt on Craig's 4th place. Craig in the Force India. Again, RDH revving his car massively, much the same as Nitrogash was. The Renault engine in that Renault or Ferrari, I can't remember, 2015 Ferrari engine, that's it, 2015 Ferrari engine in the Toro Rosso, not doing work on the front straight there, as the Mercedes powered Force India just drives away even with RDH's DRS, and he's got the Mercedes powered Williams behind him, so it's going to be a struggle to make any attempts on 4th place, and going to be a struggle for him to defend here. So it's attack from all angles for the Toro Rosso driver RDH. Can Deo make a move on RDH here? He'll have DRS and slipstream. Oh, he moves to the inside, and that's it. The Williams driver relieves RDH of 5th place. Drops the Toro Rosso down to 6th. Now with 12 laps remaining. Oh, and a slide there. RDH seems to have a little bit of an advantage in the corners, maybe not so much on the straights, but if you could take advantage of that through sectors 1 and 2, that's what he'll be looking to do. Where's Mike? Mike there in 7th, last of the current runners. I don't know what miles. Sam Vamkid currently leads still from UK Tranquility, but the gap now down to 4.4 seconds. Tranquility with the hammer down, absolutely. But actually, were it to finish like this, with Craig in 4th and Tranquility either second or winning, Tranquility will not win the championship here. But I believe, let me just take a look at this. So if Tranquility wins and Craig is 4th, Craig will pick up 7 points, Tranquility will pick up 10, and Tranquility will win the championship on countbacks, even if Craig wins and Tranquility scores nothing, because Tranquility has had more second places than Craig. It's a pretty tightly fought battle now. We've got Craig followed closely by Deo and RDH. It's going to be the two Mercedes powered cars against each other. Here's Deo. Is he going to have a go up the inside into turn 1? He thinks better of it. Let's ride on board with him. As he gets caught on the inside curve, it could allow RDH to get a run on him along this back straight. And there's a safety car. No idea what that's for. There's been no retirements by the looks of things. And this has not gone well for UK Tranquility, because UK Tranquility was looking to catch Sam Bamkid on these fresher tyres and was going to pass... and I imagine would have passed Sam Bamkid either when Sam Bamkid made his final stop or just on track. So, will the drivers come in for a set of soft tyres to blast it to the end, or will they opt for track position? Especially, we'll be looking at cars like UK Tranquility and Sir Spurd, who have made their stops. Craig may have just been offered a lifeline as he can change onto a fresh set of tyres and just go to the end. Let's take a look up at UK Tranquility. Tranquility opts for pit. So Sam Bamkid there in the Renault pits, UK Tranquility pits. Sir Spurd opts to stay out on the mediums and will assume the lead behind the safety car. So Sam Bamkid will take second. RDH in 6th opts to stay out. Does Craig opt to stay out? This would be interesting. Craig does. That's interesting. He hasn't opted to come in for a set of soft tyres to blast it to the end. Perhaps hoping that he can defend from the cars behind, who are also on slower tyres. Mustn't forget that. And just hold on to his 4th place and hopefully try and climb up the order a little bit. All the cars ahead of him are on faster tyres though. Sam Bamkid and UK Tranquility have gone for the soft tyre. Sir Spud remains on the medium. It's Craig on the hards, Dale on the hards, RDH on the hard tyre as well, and Mike has just stopped for a set of soft no, for another set of mediums. Interesting strategy there. I imagine this will be a full safety car period, not just a single lap one. It is a full safety car period, so it's to be a full 3 laps behind the safety car. So, well, the safety car, now that all the pit stops have been made and the safety car has taken the field round, let's just take a quick break. just going to take a... Just going to quickly switch into my car so I can retire from the session safely and get rid of my ghost car from the race, as we don't want it affecting anyone else. There we go. And I can pull off at the side of the race behind the safety car. Won't affect anyone's race, and there we go. So the safety car will be coming in this lap, I believe. Let's take a look as it crosses the sector 3 line. I imagine, yep, as the lights go off and the cars are all put on limiter, getting ready for the start, for the restart. It will be 7 laps to complete when they cross the line. We'll have Sir Spud leading Sam Bamkid away at UK Tranquility. I believe it's Craig in third. Craig in fourth, sorry. Here they go then. Sir Spud puts his foot down. There's an absolute melee in the back. It's side by side. You've got Sam Bamkid. Sam Bamkid takes the lead from Sir Spud into turn 2. Sir Spud runs off the circuit. It's allowed Tranquility around the outside. The soft tyre runners immediately capitalising. It's going to be Tranquility attacking the Renault driver. Into turn 4, he goes up the inside, and it's a move done, so Tranquility gets the lead. Oh, and Sir Spud falling back now. Oh, he's nearly hit the Williams. He's fallen off the circuit, comes sliding back on, nearly hits the Williams of Deo. Deo now up into third place. Craig has fallen down to 6th. It's been a disaster of a restart. It's just been a disaster of a race overall. He's changed onto the soft tyres, but at least he'll have a little bit extra pace at the end of the race. But he needs to finish third to keep this championship alive, really. And even then he could do with outscoring Tranquility, but that doesn't look likely at the moment. It's lap 30 or 36. RDH has fallen down to 7th, and that's last at this stage, I believe. It's going to be an absolute slipstream and DRS train along the main and back straights. Craig is going to try something here, I believe. Yes. Oh, he has a look, but gets his nose cut off. Oh, and Sir Spud goes sliding through turn 2. RDH destroys the second corner. Can Craig capitalise as Sir Spud struggles? Through turn 2, 3 and 4. Look a little bit further up the field. This is Deo in third. He's got Sir Spud on the back of him. The two soft tyre runners at the front have absolutely bolted. They clearly made the right strategy call coming in for those fresh tyres. Can Sir Spud stop making these mistakes and try and get a podium position back? He's gone from the lead to 4th place in 2 racing laps. Mike on the back, Craig really needs to get past these guys. He can see the 3rd place that he needs. And it's all about DRS, I believe, will be enabled this lap. Or will it be next? Or it could be next lap, so they could only get 3 laps of DRS. He's got to rely on slipstream, rich mix, and the pure straight line speed of his Force India for now. Oh no, DRS is enabled, I just missed the cue. So DRS open then along the back straight, but the cars in front will have it too. The Ferrari isn't bad in a straight line, it's not the best, but it's not bad, so could have a hard job passing Mike to even start his attempt at coming back in the final few laps. Sir Spud though is holding Mike up, so Craig could chuck one up the inside at some point if he feels like he has the opportunity. Oh, it's a little bit of understeer, stuck in that dirty air. He's got RDH to worry about behind him as well. Potential for the Toro Rosso driver to really mess with Craig's attempt here. He'll have DRS on this main straight. I imagine he'll be using all the fuel that he's got in reserve here. Seems to be in the slipstream of the Ferrari, but the Ferrari's got DRS as well, and it's just not quite enough. Will he ever go into turn 1? He goes for it. He chucks it up the inside of the Ferrari, and there's contact. He's braked way too late there. I could see that coming. I could see he was going to attempt the move up the inside, but it has not worked, unfortunately. And Tranquility leads by a sizable margin from Sam Bamkid at the moment. You've got Sir Spud in third. And it's Mike. Now Mike versus RDH. RDH on those worn hard tyres. This will be interesting to see. Can he get fourth place? He's got Craig behind him. Craig, I imagine, will be trying to catch these. So really, Craig may have had the slipstream glitch. He didn't seem to be gaining much in a straight line. He may have been running a higher downforce setup, but I think there was potential for the slipstream glitch there, as some drivers have left the session since retiring. It's 2015 Ferrari engine versus 2016 Ferrari engine. There will be just 2 laps to complete when they cross the line at the end of this one. See how late Craig was on the brakes into turn 1 there. Really trying everything he can to get past, to make up positions, to try and get even into 4th place to keep the championship hopes alive. But this is very Fernando Alonso Abu Dhabi 2010-esque. He just needs these positions, but he can't find a way past. Will Craig ever go into turn 5? Or he's poking his nose in. He might have had to go on the brakes. No. Thinks better of it. Saw what happened with Mike and decides not to. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. Can't quite make it stick, but it turns to the inside for the next corner, and it's going to be Craig up into 5th place. Those hard tyres on RDH's Toro Rosso, not really with a lot left to give. But Craig's battle there with the Toro Rosso has dropped him some time to the Ferrari in front. It's going to be a struggle to make it up into 4th position to hold onto the championship contention. I'll just double check my calculation that if Craig finishes 4th and Tranquility wins, Tranquility will be the champion. So Tranquility has had 1 win, 2 second places so far, and that will turn into 2 wins and 2 second places here if he can pull off the win. If Craig finishes 4th, he'll take 7 points, and the gap will be 10 seconds. Will be 10 points even. If he wins, if Craig wins at Abu Dhabi and UK Tranquility finishes with no points, they will be equal on points, tied on wins, but UK Tranquility has 2 second places versus Craig's no second places, and therefore UK Tranquility will win the title if countback is how we're doing this championship, which I believe we are. So it's UK Tranquility's championship to lose at this stage. I think oh my word, Craig cuts the final corner in almost in desperation, or in just a mistake there. We're going to cross onto the final lap of the race. Craig doesn't look like he's going to advance any further than 4th place, so the countback might not even matter if Craig can't get past the Ferrari in front. Of course, that relies on penalties. Now, let's take a look. These are the ones that we really care about. It's 1 warning, 2 warnings for Mike, so if he doesn't get a penalty in these last few laps, he'll be fine, and it's 2 warnings for Craig as well. So if Craig can hold it within 3 seconds, not get a penalty, and hope that Mike cuts a corner or extends a little bit too much in these last few laps, Craig could get his 4th place, but even then it's not going to be enough. By my calculation, let's ride with where is he? UK Tranquility. As he comes round the front straight for the final time, he weaves on circuit. He is going to cross the line. Let's see where Craig is going to finish. I don't think Craig has anything left to give. It's going to be 5th place for Craig. Let's take a look. It's 5th place for Craig. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, UK Tranquility is the inaugural Invictus Racing League Performance Champion. He has taken 2 victories, 2 second places and 2 third places. Those are his podiums. He's only finished off the podium twice, and with 1 did not start at Monaco. UK Tranquility is champion. Craig tried his hardest. He battled well. He's been a good competitor. He's 5th in the Brazilian Grand Prix and is thus 2nd in the championship. RDH there in 6th will remain 3rd, I believe. Taking a look at the constructors' standings, UK Tranquility and Malk will win the constructors as well, so UK Tranquility does the double. UK Tranquility has won the championship in the first IRL Invictus Performance League. A very big well done to him. He has been infallible this season. No matter what team car he was put in, he has performed. Even in some of the trickier races where there was a little bit of contact or he just didn't quite have the pace, he always managed to find a way back and find a solid scoring position. And kudos to Craig as well. He has had a really solid season too. Always examples like Russia, where he had a really disastrous start and came back to finish 4th. But there you are, UK Tranquility is champion in both the constructors and the drivers' standings. Well done to Malk as well for joining him there as team's champion. I have been your commentator, H Racing Green. This may have been my last commentary my last commentary of the season, as I might not be making it to round 10 at Abu Dhabi. But thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to commentate this season, and goodbye.